Welcome to Buggs Island, a land of many, many bass that are not very big. For the Bassmaster Open, number 3, practice period. Here we go. So in all seriousness, Buggs Island is a beautiful place and was a lot of fun to fish. I would say Toledo Bend was more fun as far as the opens go so far, just because of the size of fish and the potential you had there to catch a big giant one. But as far as just fishability and catching a lot of fish, Buggs Island was incredible. So I had heard that the bottom end of the lake, down around the Nutbush area, pardon the name, is the best place to fish. And so I ran straight down the lake, got down there to Nutbush, and it's first week of May, and the shad spawn was going on. There was a little bit of water up in the bushes, which the water rose throughout the tournament, but that's where I started, and I started out with a spinnerbait.
Okay. It's a decent keeper. That's an isolated rock pile with stumps on a point, just like Toledo Bend. That's funny. Oh,
So I was pretty fired up that on my first stop I caught one doing something that I love to do, which you guys saw at Toledo Bend. I caught a bunch of fish doing that and weighed in a big bag doing that. So that was exciting, but I decided to keep going down the bank. You know, it's early morning, I'm throwing the spinnerbait down the bank, and you're keeping all your options open when you're practicing for a tournament. But not long after going down the bank, I live scope out to the side, see another little point, and see a stump, make a short pitch on it, and guess what happens?
okay. It's a decent one. Alright, so I've caught 2 bass on isolated stumps on points. Now, I don't know if those are just, feeding fish sitting on those stumps or if they're spawning fish. I really don't know yet. So that's kind of what I want to figure out. Are these post-spawn fish, or are these fish actually spawning on these 6 to 8 foot stumps? So that's the goal, is to figure that out.
So what I ended up figuring out is that I could run this pattern all over the entire lake. Literally from, just below the ramp all the way down to the dam. I could go around and live scope stumps and rock piles and catch fish. Now, what I also figured out was that a lot of those fish were guarding fry out there. Some of them were still spawning and some were just feeding. I think one of the reasons they were so protective over the Ned Mickey is because there was baby striper out there that were trying to eat a lot of the babies. And so they were just super aggressive, and it was a really fun way to catch them.
So I think I've got all this figured out to what is the reason why this Ned Mickey makes them so mad when I throw it at them out here guarding fry and on beds and on stumps and things like that, offshore fish. I think it's because this is what is probably the primary threat to their beds and to their fry, is these little striper. And I know this bait's a lot smaller than them, than the striper are, but that's got to be why they go so nuts over a Ned Mickey, and they absolutely love this thing at Buggs. About the average size. I want to see if it's a 2-pounder. I think they're close to 2 pounds. But I could see that one clear as day sitting on the stump. They're out there, caught it. So that's going to be an easy pattern to run. It's just, can I catch big ones doing it? That's what I need to learn. It's It's a 2-pounder, 2.05, so a little over 2.
So this fish right here, clearly as you're about to see, was not a big one. But what I did find out throughout the rest of practice is that I could catch big ones doing this pattern. I actually caught 2 over 4 in practice, and I pulled it away from a bunch that chased it that looked like big ones. And I found out that this was really a deal that I could just stick in my hand and have a solid finish on Buggs Island. And I really felt like I had a chance, if I had everything to myself, to make a top 10 and possibly win the tournament. Now, a lot of other guys figured this deal out, and I was kind of surprised by that, but guys are good at live scoping, and so people figured it out. Fishing these fish that were doing this specific pattern, and not everyone was on the Ned Mickey deal, but a lot of guys were catching these fish. So the rest of the tournament, what I did is I found places that were going to be protected from the wind because it was super windy. I knew it was going to be on day 1 of the tournament. Unfortunately, while doing that, I destroyed my GoPro, which ended up making it so I could not record the tournament. So that's all I got for the Buggs Island tournament and recap video and all that stuff. You know, I ended up finishing in 20th place out of 220 something boats. It was a great finish. I had a little over 11 day 1 and over 14 on day 2. So awesome points for the Open ZQ season, and just a true blessing to go out there and do something I love to do and catch a bunch of bass doing it. So thanks for watching, and coming up next, you guys will get to see a full practice video and a full tournament video from Lake Wheeler in beautiful Decatur, Alabama. Hope you guys enjoy it.